This chart shows projected population growth over the coming decades. The curve for people over 65 is accelerating rapidly. To cybercriminals, this widening gap represents a massive, expanding target. Millions of new, highly profitable digital vulnerabilities logging online every day. Criminologists refer to this dynamic using a concept called ideal victimhood. Ideal victimhood is a profiling method where attackers actively select their targets based on perceived defenselessness, rather than random chance. These threat actors aren't casting random nets into the dark web. They are executing highly specific, calculated campaigns against a demographic chosen for maximum vulnerability and maximum financial payout. This profiling relies on three specific pillars. First is the digital gap. Unlike younger generations who grew up with smartphones and cloud storage, older users often lack the foundational, intuitive digital fluency required to navigate modern web interfaces securely. Second is the cognitive factor. Age-related memory issues and natural cognitive decline can make the already confusing labyrinth of pop-ups, security alerts, and passwords severely disorienting. Third, and most importantly to the thieves, is the socioeconomic assumption. Criminals operate on the pervasive belief that seniors are holding on to a lifetime of accumulated wealth, retirement savings, and disposable income. This combination of factors provides criminals with a high-reward environment. Because they perceive their targets as both wealthy and technically isolated, they move in expecting total compliance. To exploit this, scammers bypass broad, easily blocked channels. They aim directly for intimate personal vectors, like SMS text messages and direct emails, slipping right past traditional corporate spam filters. Once inside the inbox, they deploy highly realistic schemes. A senior might receive a fabricated romance inquiry, a fraudulent investment portfolio promising high returns, or a fake technical assistance alert claiming their computer is infected. Dr. Suleiman Lazarus, a sociologist affiliated with the University of Western Cape, co-authored a study examining exactly how age-based discrimination drives these specific crimes. The research highlights how ageism is weaponized. For the hackers, ageism is a functional tool. Their entire strategy relies on the stereotype that elderly targets are too confused to differentiate a legitimate bank inquiry from a disguised fake. A single victim's device can be hit with an overwhelming, relentless frequency of these targeted notifications, creating a panicked urgency designed to force a mistake. The criminal's entire operational architecture hinges on an arrogant assumption that their targets are simply too cognitively compromised to realize they are being manipulated until the money is already gone. When the money disappears, the immediate aftermath is devastating, but the real damage extends far beyond the stolen funds, taking a severe psychological toll on the victim. This chart illustrates a criminology concept known as the dark figure of crime. It represents the massive, unquantifiable gap between the tiny fraction of cybercrimes actually reported to authorities and the true, hidden volume of theft occurring every day. The primary driver behind this massive discrepancy is intense embarrassment. After being deceived, senior victims often feel a profound, isolating sense of shame. Because of this, victims frequently hide the financial loss from their own families. They fear that admitting they fell for a scam will cause their children to view them as incompetent, ultimately costing them their independence. Victim silence provides the hacker a layer of protection that encryption cannot. It hides the theft and allows the fraud cycle to repeat without ever alerting the authorities. But that arrogance is beginning to backfire. The hacker's heavy reliance on ageist stereotypes has slowly evolved into a critical operational blind spot. A surprising grassroots defense mechanism is emerging among older users. They are organizing on the exact same social media platforms the criminals use to hunt them. Instead of staying silent, senior networks are actively sharing counter tactics. They capture screenshots of fake messages, log the names of fraudulent accounts, and trace the scammer's contact information. Look at this network model. When a threat appears, peer-to-peer warning broadcasts create an immediate, community-led early warning system. These alerts travel faster through senior social groups than traditional, top-down cybersecurity patches. A demographic long dismissed by society and hackers alike as digitally illiterate is successfully engineering its own decentralized threat intelligence network. As the global population over 65 continues to expand in the coming decades, the necessity of these grassroots movements will only increase. Passive technological solutions like basic antivirus software or spam filters are insufficient on their own. Active community vigilance is the required missing variable to actually stop the bleeding. This requires a multi-generational effort. Younger family members and professional cybersecurity firms must actively integrate with, support, and learn from these senior-led defense networks rather than talking down to them. By flagging suspicious contacts and alerting their social circles, these seniors are establishing a functional barrier to fraud. This collective vigilance transforms simple social groups into a practical, peer-to-peer security layer.